Hey, classic friends. Well, I'm saddened to say that we just recently lost a true class act in the world of film. I'm talking about, of course, the great Mr. Carl Weathers. I just want to talk about Carl a little bit as a little homage to him. He certainly left us too soon. My introduction to Carl Weathers was probably the same as most people through the movie Rocky in 1976, playing Sylvester Stallone's antagonist, Apollo Creed. A little bio of Carl Weathers. He was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, on January 14th, 1948. He attended San Diego State University and achieved a degree in theater arts. Carl played pro football with the Oakland Raiders for 2 seasons, in 1970 and 1971. Shortly thereafter, he decided to quit football in order to focus on his acting. He took some roles in blaxploitation films in the early to mid 70s. But in 1976, the opportunity of a lifetime came when he was cast as Apollo Creed, arguably his most well known role. He went on to star in Rocky 2, 3, and 4. Rocky 4 being the last time he plays Apollo, as his character meets his demise at the hands of Dolph Lundgren's character, Ivan Drago. Carl went on to star in the sci fi classic Predator alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger. In 1988, he starred in his very first lead role in the flick Action Jackson, playing the eponymous role. His co star was the late but eternally beautiful Vanity, whose real name is Denise Matthews. In the 90s, his most memorable role was as Chubbs Peterson in Adam Sandler's comedy Happy Gilmore. He starred in 4 TV specials of In the Heat of the Night. Fast forwarding to the present era, he revived his acting career by starring in the role of Grief Karga in the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian. He played this character from 2019 to 2023. Sadly, Mr. Weathers passed away on February 1st, 2024. Let's have a moment of silence for Carl Weathers. As I reflect on Carl's body of work, I remember how outstanding his performances were in the Rocky movies, how intense and genuine. As Apollo Creed, his character arc was really amazing. We all recognize that Rocky was the underdog in those movies, the protagonist, the hero. But Apollo was a hero also, in my mind. If I look at his whole character arc throughout the 4 movies of Rocky, you just didn't know that at first. As we became so emotionally invested in Rocky defeating Apollo in the first 2 movies, we had no idea that Apollo would eventually become possibly his closest ally starting in Rocky 3. Carl's performance is absolutely impressive in Rocky 3 because he had to switch from enemy to mentor. This takes great acting chops, and Carl did not disappoint. Apollo took Rocky to the crucible to make him find the eye of the tiger. That is just fantastic storytelling. After the Rocky movies, I remember him most as Dylan in Predator, which was played by Carl brilliantly. Carl brought the perfect balance of star power and charisma to Schwarzenegger's action hero bravado. You didn't know whether Dylan was friend or foe until you saw his fate. Could you imagine if Dylan had survived? It's a shame he was killed off. Carl Weathers could have played Dylan in Predator 2 or 3. He would have been the hero. He would have kicked ass in those movies. Something else I'd want to say about Carl is that he had some memorable lines in his movies. Like, for me, one memorable line was when Apollo said to Rocky, when Rocky seemed like he didn't want to, train at one point, Carl says, "What's wrong with you, man?" And the line that mostly hit was, "There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow." I don't know why I remember that so much. The other line is, not vague, but Not a lot of people think about it, I think, is his movie Action Jackson, where he has a one liner that I thought was pretty good, was when he had a flamethrower about to, light up some dude, and he says, "How do you like your ribs?" I just thought that was hilarious. Me and my friend used to say that line a lot. Also, another memorable line for me was in also Rocky 3 when he brings Rocky to his old neighborhood and he sees all the hardcore dudes training in the gym, and he says, "You see that look they got in their eye? You see that look? That's the eye of the tiger. That's the eye of the tiger." That's a powerful line, and I love it. At some point in our lives, we all needed to get the eye of the tiger. Another funny line was when he's doing that press conference interview between Apollo and Rocky, and then Paulie yells out, "His lungs, you're just gonna punch out. His lungs, he'll punch out," something like that. And then Apollo points to Paulie, and he says, "Now who's that? Al Capone?" That was funny. I'm sure I'm forgetting some other ones, but go ahead and remind me of some memorable lines that Carl Weathers had in his movies. Write it in the comments below. Let me know. Just a little humble homage, remembering the late, great Carl Weathers is what this video is. For me, I'll remember Carl Weathers as Carl the Great. At this point, I'd like to say, Carl Weathers, thank you for your contribution to cinema. Rest in paradise, Carl the Great. My fantastic friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.